Alright, so what I've got here is a new bull bar for the Jackaroo. Well, not new, it's a second-hand bull bar. But this one is actually steel, whereas the old bar, as you can see here, is alloy. And obviously this is black. So this is the two housings from the new bull bar that I've got for the Jackaroo. And these have like these swivel mounts in them, which house the standard indicator and blinker. So indicator and parking light. And I'm going to be changing them to these daylights, and these are the sequential ones, so they're white daylights and they go to a moving orange indicator. So I'm going to be putting them in. So what I'm going to do, obviously they've got to sit in there like that, and I kind of want to cover the insides. There's no light shining back through, so I've just got basic black ABS. So I'm going to cut out pretty much a piece that'll sit in there, then cut out the center so this can sit flush into the actual ABS, and then just mount it in there. So that's what I start with as a template piece to use as a blank, and pretty much I just cut that piece out of the center of it, which then obviously allows the light to just sit in the middle. And so here's a finished one. Just thought I'd jump straight into it. So this is one, shouldn't not say finished. As you can see, there's still a little bit of light coming through. That's because I haven't actually siliconed it in yet from the back side, but I've just put it in there now, so it gives you a rough idea. As you can see, I kept a little bit of angle on it still, so that because when it sits in the bar, it sits like that, because the bull bar obviously angles out, so that it's still pointing kind of forward. And I just sunk it back in there though, so when you look down though, it's actually in there. And that's about it. Both ready to go as far as the mounts, and they're in there. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to respray these themselves, so I can take this center bit back out and just respray the inside. Doesn't really matter about up here because that's actually behind the bull bar. All you see is what you see in the front. So I'm going to give them a quick spray of just black over the top just so they look fresh, and then the lights themselves I'll be able to glue and silicone properly into the back here. Alright, so here's my two surrounds, which have now been painted. Obviously they were already black, but I've actually went over them with a black paint and then a satin clear, so they've come up really nice. And that's just air rattle canned, so nothing crazy, but just nice light coats, 2 coats of black and then 2 coats of clear. But the bar itself is black, it's a steel bar, but as you can see it's a little dull looking, like a bit faded. It's got like white marks, etc. Whatever, it's a second-hand bar. So overall condition though is good. Like there's no rust on it or anything. There's a little bit of rust that was coming through on these back brackets, but I've just went over that with like a rust converter, just a matte black one. As you can see, they look a bit fresher and cleaner. They're not visible anyway, they're under the frame, but the actual bar itself needs a paint. So what I'm going to do is mask up the garage a bit, put it down a drop sheet, probably do a drop sheet like a big curtain, just to mask off the corona from and the rest of the garage from the paint. And we're just going to spray, we'll do there my drop sheet, so we're just going to do a satin black and then a satin clear. Now the bar had 2 ugly, chunky looking kind of overriders. I've taken them off, grinded the paint where they were mounted. There's a bit of rust behind it. Just going to fill that little spot there on each side, and then we're just going to have a nice clean looking bar on the front. We're about these 2 bulging kind of real four-wheel drive looking overriders, when again it's kind of a street four-wheel drive. Done, so it was unbolted the bar, so there was like a rubber piece that goes in there. Obviously I will replace that or put it back in later, but not paint it. So I've taken that out. There was a little rust spot there which I filled over, sanded. That's fixed up now. I sanded the front of the bar. Obviously those 2 spots there is where I filled just a little bit, and that just gave the whole thing a nice sand over the front. So now I'm about to go over it with a wax and grease remover, clean it up, and we'll start painting. So I've got kind of creative in here. Got a few old sheets, and my drop sheet's up. I shouldn't have too much overspray, it shouldn't be too bad. But anyway, that's how I rigged it up on 2 tyres and a piece of wood. But we're just making do. I've already went over it now with wax and grease and cleaned it all up. Alright, just thought I'd show you, so I'm halfway through the first light coat, and there's the difference in the bar though. So I've done the top here. As you can see how much nicer it's looking. Now it's still wet though, so it will dry satin. So there's one complete coat, just there. And that's 1 complete coat, satin black, and it's still drying, so it'll turn less glossy than it is right now. Alright, this is 2 wet coats. Looking good. Not sure how many I'll do, either 2 or 3. See how it looks after this dries. Very fumey in here, but there's the final coat of clear. So I didn't bother showing you through the clears, but that's 3 coats of clear. So I ended up doing 3 coats of black and then 3 coats of clear. And it's still wet right now. I got the bull bar off. That's how she looks. A little bit different. Don't know whether I'm going to bother painting anything here. It's all black. There's not really any rust. It just kind of looks a bit dirty, but I'm not really too worried about that. Maybe I'll spray it. See how I feel. Alright, who's kidding? I love painting stuff. So we painted the whole thing black at the front. So including that radiator on the front and then all behind the bull bar. And there's black. So we got daylights in the front, light bar down underneath the number plate there, which is actually in the bar, so it doesn't actually stick any lower than the bar. And well, yeah, the black definitely looks tougher, and it looks a bit more modern now with black wheels and the black bar. I'll go put the indicators on, and there's, like, for example, my right indicator's on, so that's still on, just like a normal daylight, and then my right indicator is doing the sequential. And then as soon as I turn the indicator off, it pops back into white. Right, and there's light bar down the bottom. Easy as that. Good. I think the Jackaroo definitely looks a little bit more 2000s now, because I think the old bull bar just made it look a little bit old. And then when you feel it was orange. And there's the HIDs on, so at night time she looks like that. So these are white LEDs all the way around, and then the HIDs have that kind of blue look to them in the headlights. And it looks like a different car now, most definitely. It does not look like my Jackaroo. Alright guys, anyway, that's the bull bar done. Now we can move on to the stereo, and by that I mean subs. Oh yeah, and there's a little side angle, how it looks on the car. The black wheels, black tint, etc. So now the only thing I'm considering doing is getting this wrapped black.